Hello everybody, it's Nikki from Mum Cook Club Live. How are you tonight? Happy, Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It's good to see you. I've got a recipe for you tonight which is super easy for midweek. You can cook it on the stovetop or you can cook it in the slow cooker. I did prepare it earlier, so what we're going to do is skip over to my laptop and you can see how we did that, and then what we'll do is come back at the end and I'll show it to you all served up and plated up. Our recipe is called Tikka Masala Chickballs, and at the end we're going to come back and we're going to make a delicious yogurt topping to go with those chick balls. Let's have a look at the video first. So today what we're going to make, featuring Jalna pot set yogurt, is a delicious recipe that I love mixing up. You can either cook it on the stove top or you can cook it in the slow cooker. We're going to do it on the stove top tonight. And what it's called is Tikka Masala Chickballs. Now we've called them chickballs because there's a combination of some fresh minced chicken and some ground up chickpeas. So let's have a look at what we're going to, actually before we do that, let's have a look at what it's going to look like when it's finished. Abby, can you show everybody? So that's what our chicken or our Tikka Masala Chickballs are going to look like once they are done. Don't they look delicious? You can see they've got that lovely Jalna pot set yogurt on top, just a natural flavour. So let's have a look at the ingredients we need for this recipe. What we start with is some chicken mince. Now I've actually used 2 packets from the supermarket. That's about 800 grams of minced fresh chicken. So we're just going to add that into our mixing bowl. That's that one there. Then what we've got here is 250 grams of, these were just tin chickpeas. And what I did was I just popped them in the food processor and gave them a quick grind. So you can see that they're quite, if you press it down, that sort of goes into a nice firm little ball there. But they've basically just been ground up. Now, if you wanted to use less chicken, you certainly could, and you could add some more chickpeas. But I like to do the 800 grams of chicken mince with your 250 grams of your chickpeas ground up. I'm then going to add 1 cup of grated carrot. You could chop this up really finely if you wanted to. I just grated it on the normal grater at home. So we're going to mix that in. I've got here, you can use any onion. This was just 1 red onion, a Spanish onion that I had, and I've just chopped that up finely. Throw him in there. Get all those last little bits out of that one. Throw that in there. And then we have got some frozen peas. No need to cook those at all. They can just go in straight in from the freezer. That's about ½ a cup there. And then I have got just a tablespoon of plain flour there. Throw that in. That'll just help all of those ingredients to bind together. And then what I'm going to do is get a nice fresh lemon, and we'll do 2 things here. What we're going to do is just zest that lemon all the way around. This gives it a really nice fresh flavour. So you can see that that lemon zest is coming out there. There we go. That is looking good. You can put as much or as little lemon zest in if you like. If you don't like that flavour of that really nice strong lemon, you can choose not to put this in at all. But we do love it. We like that sharp little flavour. So I'm going to come back here in a minute. Actually, what we'll do is we will cut him in half, just like that. And I'm going to come back. Actually, we're going to take this over here to the stove and I'll show you what we'll do now that we've zested that lemon. So let's bring the lemon squeezer over here and we'll go over to the stove. So basically with this recipe, it's a little bit different to your normal, to a normal meatball. What I like to do is make a really nice stock base in the saucepan, and then we'll mix up those little chick balls and we'll drop them in to cook. So you don't need to worry about any extra oil at all for the cooking. So what I'm going to do here is I've got 2 cups of chicken stock. Be careful. I was actually, look at all that steam. I was preheating that stove. You don't need to do that. So that's our 2 cups of chicken stock. This was the juice of the other lemon. So I'm going to pop that in there. And what we will do is squeeze our other lemon in there as well. I might actually save half of one just for the end so that we can squeeze that over. That's right. There we go, so we'll throw that in there. And then what we want to do is, this is our 3 tablespoons of your Tikka Masala Paste. Any brand will do, any brand is fine. I don't get around to making my own, I have to confess. I'm very happy with the store-bought version. So literally we're just going to drop him in there. We'll turn the stove up just so we come back up to the boil. There we go, we'll set those over there. Basically what we're going to do now is let that come back up to heat. You can see that that's quite liquidy at the moment. Don't worry about that, because once you put your chicken in, now that's smelling delicious. Can you smell that, Abby? Can you smell those Indian flavours in there? Now the nice thing about a tikka masala as well is it isn't too spicy, so this recipe works perfectly if you've got little poppets at home who don't like anything too hot. If you did want a little bit of extra spice, if you've got kids at home who are quite happy, you could add a little bit more chilli in. Or you know what, you could even use a slightly different Indian, a different curry paste if you wanted to. A korma would work perfectly in here. Butter chicken, if you had a butter chicken recipe base, you could use that there. And also you could even use a Rogan Josh, you could use a Vindaloo if you wanted it to be super hot. Wow. All right, so we're going to let that bubble over there just for a minute, and then while that's happening there, while that's coming back up to heat, let's go over and look at our hands dirty. So you can use a spatula if you want to, but what we forgot was a little bit of salt. Now that's not a lot, it looks like a lot, but it isn't. Sorry? Your watch. Oh, I left my watch on. That's okay, that's no problems. I'm cooking at home, so it's fine. We're not in a restaurant. So what I like to do with this is I'm going to end up using my hands to roll these little chicken balls anyway. So I am actually going to put my hands in there. I'll take my ring off so that doesn't get lost. But literally just get in there and we're just going to...
I can imagine someone finding it.
Imagine finding your wedding ring. That would be scary, wouldn't it? I'd be having a panic, wouldn't I? I'd be thinking, where's it gone? So this is coming together beautifully, as you can see there, just all together. Now again, as with all of our recipes, you don't need to worry if there's an ingredient that you don't have, or if there's something that you don't like. Please feel free to add or delete as much as you like. You could add some capsicum in here, you could add extra onion, you could put some... Actually, some pine nuts would be delicious in here if you liked a little bit of crunch. A bit of crunch would be good. So you can see that those chickpeas are making this into a beautiful, really smooth little mixture.
Looks very smooth.
There we go. So what I'm going to do now is pop that over to the stove. I'm actually going to wash my hand. Why don't you? And this one's nice and clean. It's only that one there. So let's take that over. You can go and see if that's actually boiling out while I just wash my hands. We'll just set that there just for a second. You stay there. I'm actually going to bring over. How's it going out? Looking alright?
Yeah. Just gave it a stir.
Little stir? Okay. So we don't want that to bubble away too much. You can bring that down to a simmer.
Oh, I can smell the chicken now.
So when you do these little chick balls, you've got a couple of choices. It's totally up to you. If you like your little meatballs to be nice and neat, you can hand roll them and drop them in. If you didn't like touching chicken, and that is totally fair enough, a lot of people don't like touching the chicken, you could actually just use 2 spoons and you could just drop little pieces of chicken in there, and that would be fine too. You just won't get that perfectly little round chicken ball. But what I'm going to do is literally, I've got slightly damp hands. Now one Mouths of Mums member actually had an amazing idea, which I think is fabulous. She says when she likes to roll things that are a little bit sticky, she sprays a little bit of cooking spray on her hands, or she puts a little bit of olive oil onto her hands. I find that water works fine, and because it's going into a nice liquid anyway, it's not going to matter that my hands are wet. So there you go, a little teaspoonful. Now, it's totally up to you how big you make these. You could make them really big meatball size if you wanted to. It's up to you. You just need to let them cook a little bit longer. There we go. So then all we do is literally drop them in as we go. One little meatball's in there. And then you just literally work your way around. Now, as I said, I love this because not only do the meatballs soak up the flavour, but they also, you don't require any extra oil to cook them. So it's a little bit lower in fat, which is always a good thing. So there we go. And we just keep wetting our hands in between. You just pinch a little piece there. Give it a baby roll, throw it in there. Wet fingers, little piece, quick little roll.
Just continue.
That's exactly right. So we're literally going to go until that is all done. Now, once you've done all of your mince, that's pretty much going to fill that saucepan completely. You do need do need a big saucepan for this. The other thing is if you don't have a nice big pan like this with a lid, what you could do is you could divide that mixture evenly between two saucepans. As I said, this works beautifully in your slow cooker. So what you could do first thing in the morning is you could just put that exact same mixture in the bottom of your slow cooker, drop these in just the same, and then you can actually let them bubble away all day.
Could you make like one massive meatball like a meatloaf?
You could do it like a meatloaf. You absolutely could do that, but you're not going to get the same kind of flavour going all the way through.
Like in a slow cooker? If you did.
In a slow cooker? Yeah, you absolutely could. Yep, you could.
Because wouldn't it
You could
soak
sit
up
the
more
whole meatloaf.
flavour?
Yeah, in the slow cooker.
Because it would be like light.
I think Abby needs to go on MasterChef, don't you? She's always coming up with these good ideas. So yeah, you could. You could literally drop the whole thing into the slow cooker.
It's like a massive ball.
Rightio. So I will keep rolling. And then what we will do is, as soon as these are all cooked, so what you're going to do is, once you put them in there, I would cover that over and I would let that simmer away for 15 to 20 minutes. Then for the last 10 minutes or so of that cooking, take the lid off so that some of that juice can reduce down. Those balls will be cooked through beautifully to the middle, and when you let some of that juice reduce down a little bit, you're going to get a much thicker cream. So I will leave these cooking and we'll see you in a minute. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching that. That was our prep for our Tikka Masala Chickballs. They have been bubbling away on the stove for about 25 minutes. And what I did for the last 10 minutes is I took the lid off the fry pan and I let that juice simmer down a little bit. So we've got a really nice thick sauce on there now. So we'll give that just another couple of minutes on the stove. But just before that, so that we are ready to serve, I actually cooked some rice. If you didn't want to use rice, I've just used white rice because that's what we had in the cupboard today. Normally I would use a brown rice because we actually love that nutty flavour of a brown rice. If you wanted to try it with quinoa, that is amazing too. Often we will use a quinoa instead of a rice. That's a really nice alternative. But what I'm going to do is whip up a really nice little yogurt to go on top of our chick balls. So just 2 seconds, I'm going to actually bring these over now because I can hear them bubbling away, and because my sauce is thickened, so there we go. Let's have a look at them there. Look how good they are looking now. So you can see that that sauce has gone nice and thick there. So there we go. I'll set those there just for 2 minutes, and literally you can whip up this delicious little yogurt tzatziki if you like. So we're just going to do a little bit of a version. I'm using the Jalna pot set biodynamic yogurt tonight. because I do love that one for the kids. So what I'm going to add in here is some fresh mint. We actually just went and grabbed a little bit of wild mint out of our garden. It's kind of crazy. It goes everywhere in our garden. So I'm just going to throw that in there. The other thing...
tzatziki with mayo.
Did you? Yeah. There you go, in Greece. So we've got half a cucumber here, just a little Lebanese cucumber, and I'm going to just chop that up finely. We'll throw him in there. There we go. Pop that little one to the side. I'm just going to put a few more little green peas into our tzatziki. I'm going to save the rest for later. And then you'll remember that there was that little bit of lemon that was left from before. Just going to squeeze a little tiny bit in there. Just like that. So that's ready to go. Tiny little bit of salt. Tiny little bit of pepper. There we are. And then I'm just going to literally grab some of this delicious yogurt. Now I love these pot set yogurts. You can see just how fresh that is. The great thing about these yogurts is they make each and every yogurt in the pot. So they actually put all the ingredients in there and then it becomes a beautiful little yogurt in the pot. Oh. So we're going to scoop this out into here. Probably about a cup. Depends how many you're serving and it depends how much you like a yogurt topping. This is beautiful and creamy, this one. Jalna's got lots of yogurts, that you could use. If you didn't want to use the biodynamic, they have a beautiful Greek yogurt. There are so many different flavours. They've got beautiful sweet yogurts, all sorts. And a lot of our members are actually reviewing Jalna at the moment. And that is on the website. If you want to see what hundreds of mums are actually saying about Jalna now that they've tried it, jump on over to Mouths of Mums and have a look. The other thing I wanted to tell you about is a very exciting little competition that we've got running. Thank you very much to Jalna Pot Set Yogurt. It is called our Jalna Yogurt Face Competition, and we thought it would be fun if everybody shared their funny and cute Jalna Yogurt Face photos with us on the website, and we've got a $500 prepaid Visa card that you can win. So if you've got a pot of Jalna at home, give it to the kids, let them have a spoon, let them have some fun with their Jalna, and share a photo with us. We would love to see it. Hashtag Jalna, hashtag yogurt face, and you might be the lucky mum that we send a $500 prepaid Visa card out to. So you can see that this has come together beautifully. It is so nice and creamy. That's one of the differences with Jalna. It is beautiful, so you can see that that's come together there nicely. So just for fun, let's plate that up. Let's see how that is going to look. So I've got a little bit of rice in here. So what we're going to do, in the recipe on the site, I actually made zucchini zoodles. So I don't know if you've got a spiralizer, or if you like zucchini in place of your rice or your quinoa, but you could actually do that as an option. You could put these chick balls onto a bed of pretty much anything. So that is looking amazing. Got a little bit of rice there. So then what we will do is bring our little plate over here, just get that out of the way, and then we're literally going to, oh look at those, they look really good.
And as you said, it filled the pot.
It did fill the pot perfectly, didn't it? That was exactly the right amount. So then we're going to nestle them in there. There we go. How good do they look?
So yummy.
They look really good. Now, obviously, it's going to depend on who you are feeding as to how many of these you put into a plate. And what I like to do is make sure that there's a lovely little bit of that beautiful sauce in there as well. So you can see that that's become nicely thick. There we go. So that is delicious. Then what we are going to do is we will pop a little bit of our Jalna tzatziki. That's right, Abs. We'll pop that on top there. Pop him there. That is looking really good. Now, as we talked about before, if you wanted a little bit more spice, you could put a bit of a hot mango chutney. You could put a lime pickle. It really is up to you what you do there. So what we'll do here is I always just like a little bit of extra green. So you can see how good that is looking there. There we are. Pop that out of the way. And then what we can do with our little bit of mint is find ourselves a cute little leaf. Does that look good from a bird's eye view? How about we do a little view here so we can see our Jalna yogurt. Can you nestle that in there? There we go. So there we are. There we have it. That is our Tikka Masala Chickballs recipe. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us. I love it when you come into our kitchen. It is so much fun. Reviews are on the website. Don't forget that Jalna yogurt face competition. Show us your cutest Jalna photo with the hashtag Jalna, hashtag yogurt face, and you could be one of the lucky mums to win a $500 prepaid visa. And we will put this recipe up onto the Mouths of Mums YouTube channel, and we will also add the video to the recipe on the Mum site. Thank you so much. Lots of love. See you soon.